What is the best loophole you have ever heard of? In the shipyard, you gotta have safety glasses. If you lose them, our safety department makes you talk to your boss and have him write a note saying that he talked to you, so you can have another pair of glasses. Well, I walked into the safety office without safety glasses and asked for another pair. They said to go get a note. I then asked if they were going to let me walk out without any safety glasses. They knew that wasn't allowed, so they gave me a scratched up pair. Well, the reason they had those on hand is because you can trade your scratched ones for new ones. So I took the scratched ones, dealt with them for a day, and then went in the next day and traded them in for new ones. Never had to talk to my boss and get a note. In Sydney, Australia, we have the Opal card system for public transport. You load up the card with monies and tap it when you get on and off public transport. Now these days, per week you get a discount on all your trips after your 8th. Well, that was brought in after people exploited the previous rule. After 8 trips, all trips were free. So people would ride the buses to and from stops, tapping away, leaving enough time between each tap for it to register as an individual trip, and after a few hours of venturing the city and tapping, they then had the rest of their weekly travel for free. The news did a piece of everyone doing it, and soon after the new rule came in the mayo. I used to work in a call center doing tech support for a dial-up ISP. The 10-hour plan was $9.99 and then there were various tiers including an unlimited plan for $50 or something like that. I ended up moving to a different city and called up the call center to set up internet and I asked for the 10-hour plan. The guy who didn't know I used to work there tried to talk me into a bigger plan, but I stuck with the 10-hour plan. Why? Because the company had no system for monitoring usage. You could use as much data as you wanted, and it was all the same to them. There was no tracking system in place. When the US government issued the Sacagawea dollar coin, they wanted to get them into circulation as quickly as possible so they'd catch on narrator. They didn't, so they had a thing where you could order them and have them shipped to you for free. People realized you could pay for the coins using one of those credit cards that gives you frequent flyer miles as a reward. So you order $1,000 of coins, put it on the card, get the coins, deposit them into your bank, pay off the credit card. You've just gotten 100% free frequent flyer miles. In West Virginia there was a law that waived taxes for automobile title transfers between parents and children. A friend wanted to buy a car from his uncle, so the uncle sold the car to his father, who then sold it to his other son who sold it to his own son, my friend. 3 transactions, 0 taxes. New York State had a glitch in their motor vehicle system for a while. If you got a moving violation, you would plead guilty and overpay it by $5. They would send you back a check for $5, but you don't cash it. They would not apply points to your license until the case was fully adjudicated. If you waited until a year passed and then cashed it, those points would roll off, so you would never actually have any points showing on your license. Read about a promotion on some site that you earned points based on how much you spent over a period of time. Apparently buying gift cards counted towards your total. The loophole was that you could pay for gift cards with gift cards. Someone just kept buying gift cards with their gift cards and earning free points that they spent on other stuff. Company cafeteria had an option to order a half burrito. However, the cost of 2 half burritos was less than the cost of 1 full burrito. On top of that, the chef would make a half burrito by cutting a new tortilla in half and generally gave a healthier portion than just a half. Thus, ordering 2 half burritos was equivalent to about 1.5 full burritos and cost less than a full burrito. I still use the loophole of jumping on a shuttle bus out of Lax to a parking garage / or hotel. Yes, and then calling an Uber / Lyft from there to avoid the airport prices. Brings the ride home down to $10 from $40. For appointments that cost money to cancel with less than 24 hours notice, they often are free to reschedule within that window. So you reschedule it to a week later, then cancel it a day or 2 later. A kid from my high school was about 30 seconds late to class and the teacher refused to mark him present and made him go sign in as late at the office. In protest, he went and ate a sit-down breakfast and showed back up with about 5 minutes left of class with his late slip. Teacher threw a fit that he skipped class, but since he never signed in, he didn't face any consequences. I'm the lucky beneficiary of a loophole. Back in the 1960s, a school district in my hometown was broken up and absorbed into the surrounding districts. Fast forward to 2003, in applying to colleges, I discovered that there was a scholarship fund for people living in that old district's area like me. The district is gone, but the scholarship still exists. I applied and got the scholarship. I don't think there were any other applicants. In Ireland, a Romanian man got caught drink driving. Got thrown out of court because he was never given a copy of his charge in Irish. Apparently you have 24 hours to claim an illegally parked car depending on the location in my city. So some pros will take a ticket on game days and actually save money on parking for football and baseball. When I was in grad school, it cost me about $400 a year to park. Alternatively, I could park at a beta right next to the university parking lot, not pay, and get an $11 ticket from the Metro Police. Pretty sure I got ticketed about 4 to 5 times total. Saved me hundreds of dollars that year. Not very impressive, but at my high school we had to wear a button down and a tie to class every day. One of the kids realized that they never specified what kind of button down it had to be, so he wore a Hawaiian shirt to class with a tie. Technically it met the dress code, so it stuck. Pretty soon most of the school started wearing Hawaiian shirts with ties to class. We looked like a bunch of ridiculous Jimmy Buffett goes Mormon types, but it was worth it to spite the system. They changed the rule to ban Hawaiian shirts a week later. My microwave stopped turning on, so I went to Best Buy to get a new one. I tried the old one in another outlet, and it came back to life, so I reinstalled it. Returned new microwave to Best Buy, went back home to see that the old microwave had now died again once more for good, and then just drove right back to Best Buy where I bought the brand new microwave I just returned as an open box item for half price. Probably a fluke, but it was a rare instance of the system working in my favor. Edit, L did this on accident, not as a scam, just for clarification. Not that I complained. Some guy with a math degree won tens of millions in a small time lottery by figuring out a way to almost always win by buying a certain amount of tickets, 10k worth or so. 60-minute story from last year. Guy from Russia, if I remember right, scanned the credit card agreement offer he received, changed all the terms to be in his favor, and sent it back. They let him use the card, but ended up taking him to court. He won because they didn't read their terms and conditions that he had altered. There was a promotion a bunch of years back where Hoover included a plane ticket to select destinations around the world from Europe with any purchase of one of their products over $100. People could buy a vacuum that was like $109 and get a $600 plane ticket for it. Hoover ended up having to have people work crazy overtime to fulfill the demand for the cheapest model, and eventually they stopped honoring the promotion, which caused the people who hadn't collected on it yet to sue them. The company made $30 million from the promotion and lost $50 million in plane tickets and legal fees. Torfel Dean's Bolero at the 1984 Winter Olympics lasted 4 minutes and 18 seconds, but Olympic rules state that performances can't be longer than 4 minutes. However, the timer doesn't begin until the skates touch the ice, so they did the first 20-ish seconds of their performance on their knees. While I was at university, my department at one point switched from requiring students to hand in physical copies of assignments to digital submissions. Apparently a few people on another course had some problems with the procedure on deadline day, so the department sent us a note round saying that to cover for that, anyone who submitted incorrectly on deadline day would have their individual deadline extended by 12 hours. Cue load of students deliberately submitting unfinished assignments incorrectly so they could get the extra time. If you're in the UK, there's an insurance comparison company called Compare the Market. The way they set themselves apart, because really, they're all basically the same, is by having an actually really kind of good set of reward schemes called Meerkat Movies and Meerkat Meals respectively. For the former, you can get 2-for-1 cinema tickets on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. For the latter, you can get 2-for-1 food at a fair number of restaurants, Sunday to Thursday. You get a year's worth of access to both programs whenever you buy insurance through them. Fortunately, it's any kind of insurance that works. 1 day's worth of travel insurance for a UK-based trip will set you back about £1.50, which means that you're almost certainly going to save money by getting it, as long as you use the program once in that year. I'm pretty sure it's not how they intended it to be used, but I've saved a fortune and still ended up getting my actual insurance with someone else. Applying for graduate schools. All the apps cost money to submit $50+ each, usually, but you can often get them waived if you're a member of certain organizations/groups, stuff like honor societies, career development orgs for underrepresented minorities, etc. I found out that just being an applicant which was free for one of those groups counted for the fee waiver, and got application fees waived for over half of the schools I applied to, even after being rejected from that program. Little community center/arcade where I used to live as a kid had an air hockey table in the back room. Somebody figured out that if you jimmy the coin slot in just the right way, you could get an extra 3 to 4 games out of 1 quarter until the thing was fully pressed in, and you'd have to put in a new one. None of us had much money, so this was a lifesaver. The employees didn't really care, because what money we did have was typically spent at the snack bar, so they made money off us anyway. I kind of miss that place. They always had fresh watermelon for free for kids who had absolutely no money, so nobody would feel left out. Went to a private school where the teachers were real power hungry shootheads. You could get in trouble for having your shirt untucked, and some would be real as bags about it, literally crouched down and scooting along the benches at lunchtime, i.e. even at lunch. If it popped out while sitting, you could get in trouble. I ran through the school handbook and it said sweaters with the school emblem can be worn at any time. So I bought one 3 sizes too big and wore it constantly. It went down to almost my knees, and I would happily announced that I wasn't even wearing the uniform shirt, let alone tucking it in. The AS teachers got pissed off and took it to the school dean, but I was right and it was allowed. Like half the school switched to sweaters after that. I struggled with upper level mathematics in high school. In my junior year, I was barely passing pre-calculus, so I was looking for a way to get out of taking calculus while still making it look like I took 4 years of math, which my advisor insisted was something I needed to do for college. So I went through the course list and found out accounting was technically classified as a math class rather than an elective. I took accounting 1 as my math my senior year and actually learned things I would use, like how to write a check and balance a budget. Unfortunately, my high school caught onto the trick, and the advisors made them change accounting to an elective. My poor little brother had the loophole closed on him. Most stores have a policy against returning air mattresses, because people often buy them for a weekend and return them when they don't need them anymore. I was one of these people. At the service counter I was told all of this, and that they would not refund my money because the box was up. The most they could do is exchange it for a new one, which I did. After a quick 360 at the counter, I returned my unopened air mattress and got my money back. Those electronic fast food things where you pick the food had a loophole where if you ordered a burger and then deleted everything from the burger except the buns, and you'd get free buns. I'm super late, but a loophole in my physics class kept me from failing the class and having my college acceptance rescinded. Long story short, it was senior year, last semester of high school. My finals week of high school. I ended up taking a physics class that was way over my head. I wasn't a bad student, just could not wrap my head around physics. Went into our final assignment with an F. The assignment was on buoyancy, and we needed to make a boat out of cardboard that could support you and your partner in a pool. My buddy and I built the hell out of our boat, and the day came for everyone to test the quality of their boats in my buddy's pool. Bad idea in hindsight. Pool cloudy with glue by the end. Lol. To get full credit, you needed to go back and forth once across the pool without sinking. Then my teach made a big mistake. She offered 40 extra credit points for each additional length paddled before sinking. A bunch of groups went, and most people made it across once before sinking. One team made it 10 times. Amazing. Then it was our turn. We were the final group. My buddy and I get in, and paddle back and forth. Nice. Then another length, and another, and another, and another. We went back and forth 60 times. Finally our teacher made us stop. We weren't even close to sinking. I got 2400 extra credit points on my last final in high school and went from an F to an A. Greatest redemption story of my life. Our teacher was awesome and totally on at what she said. Good times. When I was young //12 yo I received a free chicken sandwich coupon for Chick-fil-A that I got from a contest at school. There was no fine print on it, no EXP date, no one per customer, no nothing. So I used my dad's photocopier at home and made a frick ton of copies, talking like 100 copies. Every week my mom would drive me to Chick-fil-A, wait in the car. I think she was embarrassed, but didn't want to suppress my enthusiasm. I'd go inside and walk out with a couple free sandwiches. Did it for like a year before we moved away. Pretty sure the high school employees just took pity on a 12-yo and honestly didn't care enough to say no. I work in marketing now, and fine print is one of the things I proofread 3 times before approving. You can be as high as you want, as long as you're not in possession. School had a policy that, if you missed a test, you had to go to the library to complete it upon return. The proctor in the library was usually a sub who gave 0 fricks or wasn't organized enough to know which tests were open book, open note, etc. I was awful at math and lazy, so I skipped the test, took it the next day open book in the library. I could not believe I was the only one exploiting this loophole. That or everyone was being quiet about it, to not tip off admin. Here's a good one. I'm prescribed a medication which is expensive, so the drug company provides this coupon card. Guess what? It applies money spent, as if paid for it myself. So insurance says I reach my deductible and out-of-pocket maximum. Drug company doesn't really check to see if you qualify for coupon card or not. Am I supposed to say something to my insurance company? I'll play dumb for now. That's healthcare in America. I'm pretty sure this is what's keeping medication cost high. Edit. Just wanted to focus on the fact that my out-of-pocket maximum is reached with my insurance company very quickly. This means everything is covered from doctor visits, labs, procedures, not just the drug that is covered by the coupon card. The high school I went to and some other high schools had ways of giving students credit if they didn't pass a class. My school had a program where students would have to stay after school and finish an online course. As soon as you finish youth course, you are guaranteed the missing credit. The online courses are web-based, so you can Google pretty much all the answers. Since it's web-based, you are allowed to do it at home too. My junior year, I hated this one class, so I barely went to it and purposely failed. They enrolled me in the program the following year. I finished the program in a week. TL. Doctor, I failed a class in high school for not showing up to that class at all. Got the same credit after making up with a course within a week.